This man had sexual relations with 15 women in less than a year. What is even more shocking is that this man did that with the girls just one day after meeting them. However, the surprise does not end here, as the man has an ordinary appearance, has no money, and even has a criminal record. So how can a man with such circumstances be able to charm so many women? However, a secret appointment at a hotel with a woman led to a horrific murder that no one expected. What is the true purpose of this man when he could lure so many girls into hotels? And what is his connection to the murder? Let us explore a real story that happened in China right now. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications whenever there is a new video. This is a true case that occurred in Dingfeng City, Henan Province, China, at the end of 2016. On December 28, 2016, at a small hotel located in the heart of Dingfeng City, housekeeping staff, Xiao Li went to knock on each room's door to check if any guests needed room cleaning. When he reached room 602, Xiao Li knocked several times, but no one answered, even though the camera showed the guest had not left the room. At first, he thought the guest might be busy or did not want to be disturbed, but after trying a few more times without any response, Xiao Li decided to use the backup room key to open the door and check. When the door opened, a shocking scene struck his eyes. On the bed lay a woman partially naked, only loosely covered with a blanket. Xiao Li felt somewhat embarrassed, thinking that the guest might still be asleep, so he quickly closed the door and left. The hotel housekeeping staff thought that when the guest woke up, they would automatically contact the front desk to check out. However, time passed, and by 2 p.m., room 602 still showed no activity. This made Xiao Li uneasy, and he decided to call room 602 directly, but no one answered. Sensing something was wrong, Xiao Li went up to room 602 to check again. However, this time, the scene before his eyes horrified Xiao Li. The woman was still lying on the bed, in the same position as the first time he saw her. Shivering, Xiao Li approached, placed his hand to check for breathing, and quickly realized that the woman had been dead for a long time. The death of the woman was extremely horrifying, with her eyes wide open in terror, leaving anyone who saw her deeply traumatized. Xiao Li couldn't contain her fear, rushed out of the room and ran downstairs to inform the other staff and immediately called the police. In a short time, the police arrived at the scene and cordoned off the hotel for investigation. After a preliminary investigation, they determined that the woman died around 4 a.m. on December 28. Through the autopsy, signs on the victim's body indicated that she had fiercely tried to resist before being killed. The forensic doctor concluded that the victim died from suffocation. Possibly the murderer strangled her. While thoroughly searching the room, the police discovered several clues: a set of men's shoe prints left on the floor, fingerprints on the doorknob, and 4 cigarette butts scattered on the table next to the bed. These pieces of evidence indicate that there was not only the victim in the room, but also the presence of another man, most likely the suspect in the case. The police quickly sent the fingerprints to the technical department for analysis and began speculating about the suspect's identity. The initial hypothesis proposed: the man could be the victim's boyfriend, because typically, only close couples rent a hotel room together. But if they were lovers, what made him brutally murder this girl? During the investigation, a new detail was discovered: the woman's wallet, mobile phone, ID card, and other personal belongings had all disappeared. The police suspect that the suspect may have taken them after committing the crime. If the man was the victim's boyfriend, would he have any reason to take his loved one's valuable personal items after murdering her? With increasing unusual details, the case became more complicated, and the investigators had to reconsider all their initial hypotheses. Based on the hotel registration information, the police identified the victim as Gao Qing, 28 years old, from Luoyang, Henan Province. The police immediately launched a comprehensive investigation into Gao Qing and discovered that the woman had divorced, and most of her social circle consisted of men. However, When checking Gao Qing's list of friends, the police found nothing unusual. All of Gao Qing's acquaintances had clear backgrounds and showed no signs related to criminal behavior. The strange thing was that, despite being divorced for many years, Gao Qing had not had a stable romantic relationship with anyone. So who was the mysterious man who appeared with the victim in the hotel room? To solve the case, the police requested the hotel management to extract the surveillance camera footage and discovered suspicious details. On 2 p.m. on December 27, Gao Qing arrived at the hotel and checked in alone, without anyone accompanying her. Just 2 hours later, at 4 p.m., the security camera showed a suspicious man appearing. He was wearing a chestnut-colored coat, looking awkward as if he was searching for someone in the hotel corridor. Not knowing the room number the girl was staying in, the man took out his phone to call, and shortly after, the door to room 602 swung open, and the man entered the room. Since Gao Qing checked in, no one else appeared or entered room 602. With the evidence from the camera, the police were certain that Gao Qing was the one who opened the door for this man. Although his appearance might suggest a possible connection to the case, it could not yet be confirmed that the man was the murderer. The police continued to monitor the surveillance videos and noticed that both left the room at 6 p.m. to go out for dinner. More than an hour later, they returned to the hotel, then left together again around 8 p.m., this time going to a nearby karaoke bar. Around 2 a.m. on December 28, Gao Qing and the mysterious man returned to the hotel. Only 3 hours later, around 5 a.m., the man left the room alone. This indicated that he became the top suspect for the police. Notably, through the surveillance camera, the police saw that the relationship between the two seemed very intimate upon their first meeting. Forensic medical experts determined that Gao Qing's time of death coincided with the time the man left. So what caused this man to brutally murder Gao Qing just a few hours after their romantic encounter? After identifying the suspect, the police quickly conducted an investigation to determine his identity and the relationship between the victim and the murderer. Although they questioned Gao Qing's relatives and friends, none of them knew about the man who entered the hotel with the victim. When examining the remaining cigarette butts at the scene, the police obtained the suspect's DNA sample. Through cross-referencing with the National Criminal Records Database, they identified the suspect as Niu Shijiang, 30 years old, from Dongping, Shandong, within a short period. After identifying the suspect, the police immediately launched a plan to apprehend Niu Shijiang. The police extracted video from the security camera system and discovered that Niu Shijiang had left the hotel, walking along the road leading to the passenger station in Dangfeng City. Here, he boarded a vehicle to Zhengzhou City. Throughout the journey, the bus camera recorded images of Niu Shijiang sleeping soundly, without showing any signs of worry or panic. When the vehicle arrived in Zhengzhou around 8 a.m. on December 28, Niu Shijiang woke up and got off the vehicle. With the suspect's location determined, the police pinpointed his exact location in Zhengzhou and immediately proceeded to surround and apprehend him. However, upon approaching and conducting a thorough check, a police officer unexpectedly discovered that they had mistaken the person. The person arrested was not Niu Shijiang. This man had no features resembling the suspect. When questioned by the police, he appeared confused, stating that he came to Zhengzhou for work and did not know anyone named Niu Shijiang. Even more surprisingly, in this man's pocket was a mobile phone belonging to Niu Shijiang. Noticing that things were becoming somewhat strange, the police had no choice but to check the security camera to see what had happened. Upon reviewing the video, the police found that on the morning of December 28, after the bus arrived in Zhengzhou, Niu Shijiang had inadvertently left his mobile phone on the vehicle. The man they had just arrested had picked up Niu Shijiang's phone and put it in his pocket, leading to the unfortunate misunderstanding. The video then showed that upon realizing his phone was missing, Niu Shijiang had returned to the vehicle to search for it, but could no longer find the phone there. After letting the suspect slip away, the police continued to search for his traces through traffic security camera footage. However, Zhengzhou is a large city with a population of up to tens of millions. Therefore, searching for the traces of a person is like searching for a needle in a haystack. After 2 days of investigation, the whereabouts of Niu Shijiang finally came into the police's sights. On the morning of December 28, after getting off the vehicle, Niu Shijiang continued to catch a vehicle from near the Zhengzhou railway station to the North Zhengzhou passenger transport station. Around noon, at the North passenger transport station, he boarded a black taxi bound for Xinxiang. From Xinxiang, he continued to take a bus to Hebei City. In Hebei, Niu Shijiang switched to a train to go to Anyang, and from there, he continued his journey to Handan City. Niu Shijiang's movements showed that he was very cunning. To avoid being tracked by the police, he continuously moved using multiple means of transportation to obscure his trail. Finally, he arrived in Hamdan City, Hebei Province. However, it is noteworthy that since arriving in Hamdan, no trace of Niu Shijiang has appeared on traffic cameras. Dangfeng police subsequently immediately initiated an investigation in Hamdan, but after a thorough review, all efforts yielded no results. Is it possible that Niu Shijiang is hiding somewhere in Hamdan City, or has quietly left without leaving any traces? While continuing to investigate leads in Hamdan, the police also delved into Niu Shijiang's past before he committed the crimes and discovered a horrifying secret. According to police records, Niu Shijiang had previously been imprisoned for theft in his hometown of Shandong. After being released from prison in 2014, he did not seek stable employment, but focused on deceiving naive women to seize their assets. Niu Shijiang used a fake name to join dating applications online, creating a perfect facade to find emotionally vulnerable women. Niu Shijiang not only used one fake identity, but also created multiple profiles to approach women on various social platforms. He built a perfect facade to gain the trust of women through cleverly staged stories. His criminal records indicate that before committing crimes in Henan, he had been active in several provinces such as Shandong, Anhui, and Hebei for an extended period. Each time he arrived in a city, Niu Shijiang stayed only 2 to 3 months, making friends and getting acquainted with local women via WeChat. His targets were primarily women aged between 20 and 40, most of whom were emotionally vulnerable and seeking one-night relationships. Niu Shijiang exploited this psychology to chat, date, and meet them at hotels. After intimacy, he took advantage of the victim's negligence to steal their assets and then disappeared. According to the police investigation, at least 15 cases have been confirmed as his victims. However, only a few women dared to report to the police due to concerns about personal reputation. Therefore, for many years, Niu Shijiang lived by deceiving and robbing the assets of the women he dated online. At the same time, a friend of Gao Qing revealed an important detail to the police. After the divorce, Gao Qing lived very promiscuously, often seeking one-night relationships online. These fleeting romances were merely to satisfy Gao Qing's emotional needs. Therefore, Gao Qing also met Niu Shijiang through a dating app. After lively online conversations, both decided to meet at a hotel. This information matched the clues that the police had gathered, making them more certain that Niu Shijiang was a specialist in deceiving women for their affection and money, particularly those lacking male support. What troubled the police was their inability to explain Niu Shijiang's motive for killing Gao Qing, as his sole purpose was to seize the victim's assets. More than 2 months after the shocking murder occurred in Dangfeng City, an important lead from Tianjin helped the police get closer to arresting the suspect. In early February 2017, Tianjin police reported a theft case that used a method very similar to what Niu Shijiang had previously executed. Subsequent investigations confirmed that the suspect described by the victim in Tianjin had an appearance and behavior very similar to Niu Shijiang. On February 25, 2017, Niu Shijiang was arrested by Tianjin police. During interrogation, Niu Shijiang confessed that he had gone to Dengfeng City on December 25, 2016. He went online and met a woman named Yao Qing. Initially, everything went smoothly, much like the previous cases he had attempted but failed. Niu Shijiang claimed he was the owner of a logistics company and earned millions of USD each year, though in reality, he was just a driver and loader at a logistics company. During their acquaintance, Gao Qing invited him to a hotel for intimacy and heartfelt conversation. On the evening of December 27, the two went for hot pot, then to a KTV to sing and entertain themselves. After returning to the hotel, the couple continued their flirting until they were exhausted before stopping. It seemed that everything was just a regular outing, but after being intimate, Gao Qing unexpectedly asked Niu Shijiang to buy her a necklace. Niu Shijiang then declined, saying he didn't carry much cash and promised to buy it the next morning. However, Gao Qing did not let it go easily and forced him to transfer 3,000 yuan immediately, threatening to call the police and accuse him of assault if he did not comply. Due to his prior criminal record, Niu Shijiang became more tense and panicked. If Gao Qing truly called the police, he would have to go back to jail. In fear and anger, he lost control and attacked Gao Qing, using his shirt to choke the woman until she stopped breathing. Seeing that Gao Qing had died, Niu Shijiang, in fear, took the victim's assets, money, and belongings, and then began to flee. After reaching Tianjin, Niu Shijiang thought he had cut ties with the police, so he continued his old tricks, going online to find companions to meet at hotels for intimacy, and then stealing their assets. Unfortunately, this time, Niu Shijiang's victim came forward to report him to the police. Shortly thereafter, while planning another operation, Niu Shijiang was arrested by Tianjin police, bringing an end to his sinful days of evasion. Niu Shijiang admitted that he did not earn much from the online romantic scams targeting women. Although he carried out up to 15 operations, the largest amount Niu Shijiang obtained was only 3,000 yuan. Most of the times he went to the hotel with the victims. The women did not carry much cash, rendering his efforts nearly futile. Upon hearing Niu Shijiang's testimony, the police could only shake their heads in frustration. Merely wanting to make money quickly, Niu Shijiang exploited the emotions of naive women, setting traps to deceive them of their affections and money. On July 7, 2017, Niu Shijiang was sentenced to death. This was considered a sentence fitting the severity of the crimes he had committed. This heartbreaking case serves as a warning about the importance of cybersecurity, especially in the context of online dating. Although dating apps and websites can provide convenience for many people, they also open the door to potential threats. With the anonymity the internet provides, many bad actors have exploited users' trust to carry out sophisticated scams and even commit crimes. This concludes today's video. If you found the content useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to support us in creating more quality videos. Thank you very much for watching.